Buongiorno, Minecraft fans. It's Collins, and we are in the stronghold again. We got the end portal room down there, and if you remember right, when we first discovered this, there was a full-size spider spawner dungeon right cut into the side of the stronghold. But more importantly, there is an abandoned mine shaft cut into the side. And look. No. I'm a better archer than you. Eat that. So, the abandoned mine shaft comes right over here. And I have to apologize for the montage the other day. The last episode, the montage ran a little fast, I realize. I was kind of pressed for time, though. So, over here, right in the abandoned mine shaft, we got a spider spawner. And then, down here, a second spider spawner, and you can see if I stand here, they're both lit up. And what's up there? It's a third spider spawner. 1, 2, and 3, and they're all lit up if I stand right here. So we're going to grab some coordinates and work on this a little bit today. I think instead of just doing a speeded up montage, I'm just going to cut in and out of some of the progress we do. But let's take a look at this, and we gotta start off with an epic jump. Whoa! Ha ha ha! And we landed in my creative world. This is a custom creative world with custom options, and I'll put in the options that I use when I created this custom Superflat world. But this is basically the ground is a layer of glowstone, and it's above y = 40, so no slime spawn on this Superflat world. And the ground is lit up, so the only mobs that spawn are in the mob traps that I've set up and tested. But I wanted to look at my spawner that I have in my creative world, and the colored wool, it marks out the different areas. And these areas I mainly got started out using information from a tutorial video from a guy named Casper MC, and I will link to his YouTube video. But what we have here, and I can't click on it because there's a spider spawner and I'm in creative and I'll break it, which I just did a second ago, but I loaded it back up. So this is a full-size spider spawner, but all spawners work the same, so zombies and skeletons and everything else all work the same. And basically what this is a color-coded layout of how this works. So from the spawner, and this is a full-size spawner, so the way full-size spider spawners work is 4 blocks in every direction. You'll see the yellow wool is marked out, and there are some cutouts in here, but basically picture this yellow wool as a cube. That's the area that spiders can spawn in. And this is actually a functional grinder. It's turned off with glowstone lamps using my favorite method. But this spawner will spawn spiders within the yellow wool area. So the red that's in the wall right here, just imagine there's yellow wool along that. So that whole section, basically from above this red wool block all the way up to the top and all the way in a full square would be spawnable area. And these, all the way up to this corner here. So this yellow wool represents the area that spiders will spawn in, and then the red wool is also a square, and the red wool represents an area where the spawner checks for spiders. So if there's 16 spiders within the red wool section, the spawner will not produce any more. And the orange wool down here at the bottom represents the fact that mobs jump. So if you have mobs at the level of this orange wool, they will jump into the red wool and they'll cap off the spawner. So the first thing you have to know when you build a spawner is to get mobs out of the red wool section. So you'll see I have a water drop here, and the water drop starts at the green wool, which is a safe zone for monsters to go in. So as soon as they spawn, they fall down low enough that they don't cap out the spawner and more can come. But I wanted to get a good idea of the layout of this and show everybody how this works so we understand when we start messing with the cave spider spawners, which work exactly the same way except it's 3 on 2 sides and 4 on the other 2 sides. So the spawnable area is the yellow wool in a cube. The area that you have to clear out of additional mobs is the red wool in a cube. counting an extra layer below because of the fact that mobs jump, and then the green wool represents the area that a player can stand and make the spawner active. So you'll see if I stand right here, that spawner's lit up, and then if I back up just a little bit, the spawner goes dark. I don't know if you can see that very well, but you can see the little flames, and then as I back up, the flames disappear where I'm on this gray wool. So this green area that you have to be within a certain distance of the spawner, I believe it's 16 blocks, is not a cube. It is actually like a circle pretty much. And it goes all the way around over here, and there are areas over here. I can't see the spawner now, but it's basically a three-dimensional sphere around the spawner within 16 blocks. So if you're staring straight at the spawner, it's exactly 16 blocks, but if you're in a diagonal corner, it's a little bit shorter. You can see how the green wool kind of works its way in. So that's something we have to be wary of, and this is a three-dimensional thing too. So right here I'm in the green area and there's flames. If I just go straight up, and you can't see the spawner from here, but if I just go straight up, the spawner is no longer active because even though I'm in the green area, my elevation is too high and I'm actually out of the green area. So that's something we have to be wary of when we're working in 3 dimensions with the spider spawners, with the cave spider spawners. So let's go back to the regular world, and we'll look at the 3 cave spider spawners. And here we are back in the real world. So the first thing we need to know, now that we know about the green zone, we have to be within a certain distance of all of these spawners to make them active. So the first thing we need to do is, well, there's a few things we need to do. We need to figure out how big of an area we can stand in that still leaves all 3 of these active. And then the other thing that I want to do is light these up. So I need to figure out the dimensions first. Now this is not a full-size spider spawner, so it's 3 blocks on one side and 4 blocks on the other. And the way you figure this out is when the X and the Z go down when you move, that's the area you need to go 4 blocks. So you can see X is a negative number and it gets bigger as I go in this direction, and Z is a positive number and it gets bigger in this direction. So this is the direction that I need to go 4 blocks in every direction. So let's just carve out a little bit of path here. So I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks out in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's where I'm going to have my wall. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then 4 blocks there. Oh, but I'm going to offset that by 1. So let's put it right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did before and use the jack-o'-lanterns to indicate my blocks where they go. And then I have switches. So now there's 1 light up, and then we need to go 4 in the other direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the block would go here, and we're going to offset it 1 also, so right here. Oh, more zombies. Zombie problem. Major zombie fail. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the wall will be right there, and that's offset 1. And then we'll use the jack-o'-lantern to mark it. And we'll switch that on, and that's on. So then we only need to go 3 in this direction. So 1, 2, 3, and then right here. So 3 is the spawnable, that's the wall, and then that's where I'm going to put my jack-o'-lantern. So jack-o'-lantern block. Get a lever on there, turn that on, and then we'll do 3 in this direction. I'm going to do the same for all of these spawners. Okay, this is what I have so far. This platform is made out of the jungle wood. I just did that to make it different than everything else. But everywhere I walk on this platform, as far as I can tell, and I can make it a little bigger, but this looks like a big enough space actually to work with. Everywhere I can walk on this platform, all 3 of these spawners are still active. The bottom one and these 2 over here. And then I've went ahead and set up my little light thing. And I think what I'm going to do is actually build these out of the oak wood, the actual spawner cages themselves, and then kind of go from there, go with like a, and I'll probably change the jungle wood to something else. I just wanted something that would be unique. So this elevation is y equals 24, and the bottom spawner is at y16, and the top spawner is at y31. So this is right about the midpoint, and this one's right at y24. So this is right about the midpoint of the three spawners height-wise. So I wanted to find a decent-sized area, and this looks like it's a big enough area. So basically, as long as I stay within this area where the jungle wood is, I will be within spawning range of all three, and then the next thing to do is start building the towers or building the cages for everything. And then you've seen me do this before in the other spawners, so I go out, offset one from the spawner, so the spawner sits here, and I offset one, and there's a lamp, and I didn't offset that one. And there's all sorts of badness down here. I got blown up by a creeper. Yeah, lots of bad news. Let's see, this goes right there, that goes right there, and then I need this lever. Yeah. So these are all, the lights are all offset by one and set the correct distance. So there's 3 gaps, 3 spaces on these two sides, and then 4 spaces on these two sides, which is the amount of spawnable area that the spawner is capable of. And then on the one that's up here, I already started kind of building the, let's see. I already kind of started building the cage. So this is the top of the cage, and again I put this little thing on the top part of it to keep it from, so spiders can't spawn up there. And I've just been tearing out all the regular stuff and then putting up the oak wood, which I don't have a whole lot of now that I've been growing jungle trees. So I think I will probably grow a few jungle or oak trees, and probably with all my bone meal, and bring it back here and finish these cages off. Maybe at least the top one. And the cool thing is since I put the lamps in very first, now I have enough light in here that I can pretty much do whatever I want, and then turn these spawners off at will. And it's the beginnings of the same design that I had before. So the jack-o'-lantern represents where the light is, and if you power the jack-o'-lantern, like right now I just have a lever behind it, and then I used a whole bunch of redstone because each one of these lamps is 4 redstone, and I have 4 of them on 3 spawners, so 12 of them, which 12 times 4 is 48. So 48 pieces of redstone just to make the lamps. So I don't know if I'll have enough to run redstone wiring all the way around. I'm definitely going to have to do my get a repeater trick again, but that's what I'll do, is I will fill these all in with the wood. And I don't know if you can hear, my sound's kind of down a little bit low, but there's definitely some zombie badness. And I got blown up by a creeper and died, and my spawn is still set over at the, I set my spawn, I slept in the bed when I was building the hunting blind, so my spawn is set at the hunting blind, which luckily I have the nether hub, so it's not that huge of a deal. Can you hear that up there? There's darkness and all sorts of baddies up there. There's baddies everywhere in this place. It's horrible. And I did a little bit of exploring. Unfortunately, I didn't get any of that on camera, but it's not much of a deal. I just lit up caves. I actually found the caves go all the way to the surface at one point. Okay, so the roof of this is done. The caves actually go all the way up to the surface. There's the ocean. It goes all the way up to the ocean. And I'm out of food. I'm definitely gonna have to grow some more trees. But you get the idea of what I'm doing here. So I have an area where I know I can stand and all 3 spawners will be active. And then I'm just gonna build cages and set up the water paths. Now spiders are really tricky. You'll notice that upstairs I have the big spider, well I guess it's not upstairs, it's kind of directly off that way. But I have the big spider spawner and I haven't really done anything with that, I just left it lit up even though it's sitting like right next to my base. Just because spiders are really tricky, they track you through walls and they track you from about the same distance as you need to be from the spawner. So if you're within range to make the spawner spawn, the spiders are going to track you. So what I have to do when I set up the water paths for these is I have to actually set them up in a way where the water paths kind of follow the direction towards me so that they keep going. Like that one will probably be pretty easy. I think I'll shoot them off this way and then bring them in. That one's going to be actually really tricky. I might actually have the water path go right through the floor because I do have to bring them 8 blocks away from the spawner and then do vertical water paths. Now the vertical water paths won't be a big deal because they will shoot right up that thing. Even if they're trying to track you, they still will go up it. I've actually seen that happen before. There's a skeleton over there too. Lots of baddies over here. I'm getting out of here. I think I'm done for now. I'll have to bring some oak wood back. But you guys get the idea how that's going to work. So I think for the most part, that's all we're going to do on camera for that. And then as I get really close, I'll maybe some more little tiny snapshots of working on it, but not a whole lot. But you get the idea, and I can't believe, I'm still amazed. 3 triple spider spawner. I'll have to look up and see if I could find like a YouTube page or something where someone shows they're working on triple spider spawners, because I don't think I've ever seen one. And I don't know if I mentioned this before in the last video, but I had all the... So in the snapshot and in the redstone update, you'll be able to cook nether rack in a furnace and get nether bricks, which you can turn into nether brick blocks. So I actually went ahead and turned all my nether brick into nether brick blocks. And I used them up here in the storeroom, which I think I have some... I don't know if I put the clips in the storeroom. Last episode ran really long, so I may not have shown the redesign of this, but this is the storeroom that's right below the surface, and as you go in here, I redid all of this, so I added a 3rd row, and then it sits on half slabs, and then behind here you can kind of see the kind of whatever color that the nether brick is. So there's nether brick back there, and I wanted it just to give it a little bit of an accent. And this actually has jungle wood behind it, and this is jungle wood. And then there's jack-o'-lanterns in the back, because I love my jack-o'-lanterns. No particles, and they give off good light. But there's, I redid all this. Got a couple more furnaces in here. Have one crafting table this end, one on the other. And I also kind of redid the storage chests at the dual grinders. It's really sad though, because now that I've put all that work into the dual grinders, I'll be doing the triple spider spawner, and this one's, even if it was only 2 spider spawners, it's still better than the other one because the 2 are close enough that you can stand in you know, a certain area and activate both at the same time. Which is the reason why you see that a lot with the cave spiders, is because only in abandoned mine shafts will you find, I mean, you can find it other places, but usually only in abandoned mine shafts will you find 3 spawners, or 2 spawners even, within close enough to each other that you can actually stand in one spot and have both of them active at the same time. But that's what we'll do. And then once I get done with the spider spawner, that'll probably be where I set up a brewing station. But I think the spider spawner is probably one of the last things I'll work on here in the overworld until we go. The next thing we're going to do is find a fortress in the nether and work on that. So I don't know if I mentioned it before with the big spider spawner here that we found right when we came in, but I definitely want to do something fun with this one. I mean, I don't want to turn it into a full-size spawner and waste all the effort in it for one spider spawner when I got triple cave spiders down there. But I might maybe like encase this in glass and have like a little area inside where spiders can spawn, and then you just kind of watch them through the glass. Or do something with minecarts, have like spiders on minecarts running through the abandoned mine shaft or something. And then what I think I'll do is create a path to these spawners Definitely a better path than this ghetto thing. And then make the path have the theme of the abandoned mine shaft. So have the 3 logs with the fence posts on the side, and basically run that theme all the way down the path to the spider spawners. We'll make this spawner look cool, make an abandoned mine shaft looking pathway going to the triple spawners, and then once we get that all set up, or actually maybe even before I get that thing all set up, I will we'll start exploring the nether, because we got to get blazes to get blaze rods to make blaze powder, and then we can go to the end. So I'm just going to grow a couple jungle trees here, wow. Some oak trees, and it looks like we have a little bit of time left, so I think the next thing we'll do is go over and derp around a little bit at the hunting blind. So let me do a couple of these and we'll go over there. I spent a night at the hunting blind and I didn't get a whole lot, so I figured I'd spend a little bit of time over here at the grinders, and this is the zombie skeleton grinders area, and you can see I widened this out just a little bit, and I don't know how much more of this I'll work on since I got the cave spiders and stuff, but this is too wide, and this is actually 2 blocks tall, but it's a full block and then a half a block of space below and above. So since it's half slabs, nothing spawns, and it's short enough that like even when I lower this, the zombies can't get to me because they have to come through that other half block. And then I did the exact same thing over on the skeletons. And then I did redo the storage chest over here, like I mentioned. There's upside down stair, and then 3 tall. Oh, and I did some low level enchants. Just I got efficiency on a shovel and another iron pick since I blew my iron pick away. And these are my 2 good ones, my fortune and my silk touch, that I don't use that much. And a bunch of swords and stuff that I'm still trying to get rid of all these stone swords because I have no use for them. I'm just blowing them on the grinders. But let's see what we get a few levels, and then we'll go to the hunting blind, maybe get something worth putting on video. It looks like I went AFK at the mob grinder for a little too long. Let's see what this says. 537 zombies. 538. That is nuts. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna take advantage of this. I gotta run over here really quick, and somehow I lost Punchy, the bow that I made. So we gotta get that new one up. Ooh, a silk touch book. Zombie dropped an enchanted shovel. Let's combine that. Ooh. Fortune shovel. What a waste. Yeah, I have the sound turned completely off, and you saw we did the book and stuff, and it looks like we still have 300 and some zombies in there. Alright, let's get another level 30. Another level 30. Looks like we're down to about 200 zombies in there. Yeah. Zombie flesh. Yuck. Oh, wrong level. Looting 1 though. That'll help. And let's go for another. And another level 30. I think we're down to like 100 and some zombies in there. Efficiency 4. And looks like another efficiency 2 shovel dropped and another normal iron shovel. Let's see if we got one more in here. And I got another level 30. And looks like there's about 20 something mobs left in here. So there's definitely not enough to get another level 30. So I think we'll call this the last one. You can see they drop iron bars every once in a while. So I got 5 here. And I think there's a couple more that I put in there. And let's see what this gets us. Yuck. Punch 1. Alright, so apparently no hunting blind. This will be the enchanting episode. Golden chestplate, leather cap. I made the new iron sword. Let's just throw a low level enchant on that. Something that'll tide me over until I get another knockback sword.
So that'll tide me over until I get enough books for diamond swords. So I got efficiency, silk touch, protection 4, respiration 3, fire protection, another efficiency, punch, looting 1, that'll be cool, and power 4. And yeah, there's that other bow. I don't know what happened to Punchy. I think I lost it when I died in doing the spiders. So if I jump through here real quick, which is another advantage of having the portal and the nether hub, is now that I jumped through the portal, that chunk is unloaded, so any remaining zombies will stay in there. So if you have a grinder like that and there's a bunch of mobs in there and you walk away from the grinder, you're going slow enough away from it that you're at the distance that the mobs will start despawning. But if you just pop through a portal, then that chunk instantly unloads before you get far enough away for the mobs to despawn. So if there's still mobs in the grinder, they'll be there when you come back through the portal. So I'm over by the hunting blind, and I just realized, because I cranked up my render distance, there's a temple over here. Let's take a look at this thing. So here we go, temple, no staircase. It's actually a full temple. Half the time when I find these dang things, they're cut out of the land, and it's a real pain. This is actually a full jungle temple. So I just threw torches everywhere to get this thing lit up. And there's the secret entrance. And how you do the secret entrance is, well, we can just go straight down the side here. So there's a metal pressure plate. And underneath that is a bunch of TNT. So I'm just going to break the block that metal pressure plate's on, and it's deactivated. And then all the TNT is mine for the taking. And we got bones and the gold. Emeralds, nice. Iron, more bones and zombie flesh, because I need a lot of that. Couple diamonds, very good. Gold, more zombie flesh. And we're just going to take all this stuff with us. There we go. And that's really all that's in these temples. So let's run back to the blind really quick. Apparently not quick enough. So I'm really only here because I need 2 more Eyes of Ender, so 2 more Ender Pearls to have 9 total, and then I'll be able to activate the end portal. And we're running a little long this episode. So I think what we'll do is wrap this up, and then if we get anything cool out of the hunting blind, we will start off into the next episode with the highlight video. And I got some glass cooking up that we can use for the there's an Enderman. The glass we can use for the spider spawners. I like doing the drop towers out of glass. Stupid knockback sword. Ender Pearl. Okay, so that makes 8 total. I need 1 more. And we'll see everybody next episode. Thank you everyone who likes and subscribes, and thanks everybody for leaving comments, and leave more if you like or hate the videos. Let me know what you think.